off-roading on Harley. So guys, because it is a subject that is interesting to me, and I'm analytical, just by nature. I've noticed the evolution of the phrase squid, or of the word squid, in the motovlogging community has become something quite different than it used to be. As the word was coined. Now, people don't really know for sure where the word came from. And there are several different references to the word. And I will give you some of them. Now, the first one is, and the word seems to have popped up in the 1960s. The most simple definition of a squid that I'm going to give you is squirrely kid, squid. Squirrely meaning darting back and forth like a squirrel. And if you've ever seen a squirrel out in the forest, especially one that you can like come up on or chase it or something like that, they dart back and forth erratically and quickly, and you really don't know where they're gonna go until they shoot up a tree and get away from you. So, you know, a squirrely kid on a motorcycle would be a squid. Obviously young and darting around quite a bit. Now, by that definition, I would say probably a great deal of the motovloggers would be considered squids. Now, the second definition of squid that I've heard, and again, around the 1960s, this definition came into being, and the reason they say that the word squid evolved was, number one, because of sailors. So Navy Thomas would absolutely be a squid. But that's a joke. So the sailors would come into port, and of course they were very low paid individuals. They didn't have a lot of money, and so what they would do in these ports is they would buy cheap two-cycle motorcycles, and thus they would ride around in these port cities, and just like the first definition of squid, they would be darting back and forth like a squid does in the water, quickly and erratically, and they would be leaving this trail of ink behind them, or bluish white smoke from the two-cycle motorcycles they bought. So they'd be darting around on these two cycles, leaving their little ink trails. And so they started calling the sailors squids. And the third definition, which has broken this down into an anagram, I think is what it is, which is S-Q-U-I-D kind of, and that is stupidly quick, underdressed, ignorant or idiotic, and this one has probably gained the most traction in the motovlogging community. But not only that, many of the motovlogging community have just decided that anybody that's underdressed is a squid, and that's what it means. But I think a lot of writers have forgotten the SQI in Squid, and or at least they don't understand that they're squids when they are writing stupidly quick. Now, what would be stupidly quick? Well, you know, high speed lane sharing, you know, would be probably stupidly quick in a lot of people's books. What else would be stupidly quick? Oh, outriding your ability to see through a turn, see through the radius on a turn. Prime example of that would be roads like the Tail of the Dragon, where riders, actually very experienced riders, are riding faster than they can see, which means if they're coming around a blind corner, and look at this one, see, that was kind of squiddish right there, that was a little darting around thing. He was really wanting to get some speed up. I've passed 2 Harley riders that didn't wave at me. I'm disappointed. See, this kid here is really wanting to get some speed up here. See, oh, he's got his headphones in, he's got a little Honda single cylinder. Let's see how he takes off. Oh, he's got speed. Moto mercenary. Oh, look at him. Speed on his helmet. Anyway, yeah, so, and ignorant. Stupidly quick and ignorant. So, oh, as I was saying before I found the squid, oh, there's a nice little darting move there. Let's see, what's all that about? Kind of darting back and forth, lane changes. You know, and if this kid were wearing a full armored jumpsuit and riding like he does, I would still say that's pretty squid. That is pretty squiddish riding. But a lot of motovloggers wouldn't think that at all. You know, so ultimately I think the whole squid idea is a pretty relative term, and even ATCAT is kind of a relative term. You know, what feels safe to me, mostly because of my decades of experience on a motorcycle, and the way I ride, what feels safe to me may look really squiddish to the inexperienced riders that dominate YouTube.